Good morning, Warzone kids. That's my term for those of us like myself. I'm a child sex abuse survivor. As an adult, I live with borderline personality disorder. I'm a recovering addict and bulimic. And I'm selling a book proposal now, or I'm attempting to sell a book proposal. I got the first draft written of a book called A Pilgrim's Progress, Letters from the Trail to the Western Lands. And what I'm trying to do in this book is kind of show what my journey toward peace and wholeness is like for me. I think of learning and becoming who I am as a pilgrimage to the Western lands, home, myself, the place where I'm going, also the place where I've been my whole life, the cosmos. It's a journey of a lifetime to get there, and I'm on the pilgrimage to it, and I'm there right now. And I'm trying to communicate in this book and in these videos what my experience is like as a war zone kid, learning to live my life, learning how to live my life right now in the present moment, and what that's like for me, and share my experience. And so I imagine this, like, this journey, it's like people call it the inward journey, that kind of thing. I imagine the inward journey as a real pilgrimage. You know, pilgrims walking on a trail, carrying a rucksack, stuff they don't need, stuff they do need, what goes in, what stays out. I practice Zen. That's a big part of my rucksack. I have an old school Jungian psychoanalyst. That's a big part of my rucksack. He's like an actual life coach. I tell this fella what's up with my life, and he reflects back to me what he's hearing, and he helps me see myself in different ways, and he helps me see the reality of myself as I am. And I'm a volunteer circle keeper with an organization called Hidden Water Circle that facilitates healing circles by and for those affected by child sex abuse. And there's 8 child sex abuse survivors, and we get together via Zoom for 12 weeks, and we share our experience. That's it. And there's some kind of magic, some kind of alchemy that happens in there just by the experience of connection with each other. And I've felt the power of human connection with other war zone kids who, many like me, we have gone our whole lives without ever feeling a real connection with other people that didn't involve us hiding the most vital elements of ourselves, which were damaged by child sex abuse. It doesn't have to be child sex abuse. You may have grown up in an environment of other physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, or harm. Harm's a word I use more than abuse, because abuse is a tough word. We feel bonds to our parents and our family no matter what happened to us, and it's often a stumbling block to consider them as abusing us. But it's often easier to just use the word harm. They caused us harm, whether they meant to or not, whether they loved us or not, whatever it was, they caused harm. And on the trail to the Western lands, we come into challenges. Here's your little Greek lesson for the day. Aporia means a roadblock, means a place, a challenge, an obstacle on the path. On the hero's journey, you can think of these as trials along the way. I've been talking about the scree slopes. That's one of the trials on the way. When you have to deal with what it's like when you're walking on scree or slippery ice or quicksand, and the ground underneath your feet doesn't seem solid anymore. It's given way out from under you. Well, part of the reality of life is understanding that the ground under your feet is never all that solid. But you can walk on it even when it is scree, and even when it's ice and snow, you can still walk on it. Because the ground underneath your feet is all you ever have to walk on, whatever that ground is. And learning how to recognize that you can walk on scree. You can let go of the illusions that you've been hanging on to. a lot of us, myself very much included, go through life desperately trying to maintain these illusions, like a laundry detergent commercial, desperately trying to maintain the illusion that real life is like life in a laundry detergent commercial or a pharmaceutical commercial where the sheets are always sparkling white, the Legos that you step on are always soft, and everyone's always in a good mood, and the house is always clean. No one's like that. No one's like that. Not even the set, the film set of where they recorded that commercial ain't like that. There's stuff all over the place. They can barely maintain that illusion for the 15 seconds at a time it takes them to get through a take. And it's all make-believe. There's no future for us living in make-believe, Pilgrim. We got to live in reality. We got to walk the trail that we're on. When that's scree, we got to walk on scree. When it's snow and ice, we got to walk on that. When it's quicksand, and you grew up in the 80s watching TV like I did, quicksand's all over the place, but it ain't really there. You can get across it. So the scree slopes is one of the aporia, one of the challenges, one of the hurdles, one of the trials on the road, dealing with life when everything that seems solid seems to be coming apart under your feet. That's okay. The reality is whatever the reality is. And our lives are easier when we give up the illusion that we're supposed to be trying to live in a pharmaceutical commercial or a Tide commercial. I love Tide. It's a fine product. Use it every few days. What comes after the scree slopes in my story, The Pilgrim's Progress, Letters from the Trail to the Western Lands? If you're a publisher, you should buy it. It's a good book. The book kind of picks up where a lot of healing memoirs leave off. A lot of healing memoirs kind of come to the point of recognition where we survivors recognize what the reality is like. That's the beginning of the journey, really. No, I take that back. It's like Winston Churchill said about when the tide turned in World War II and they got through the Blitz. He said, this ain't the end of the war. This ain't even the beginning of the end of the war. But it might be the end of the beginning. So anytime you can find an application of Winston Churchill to real life in a form other than getting drunk as a lord on whiskey at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're better off. So what I say about healing is that when you are aware that your life has come apart, that you've been living an illusion, you've been trying to live in a Tide commercial, you've been trying to live in a world where you're acting like you're teetering, tottering Jenga towers all in one piece, and you realize the reality of it, that the fact that you're a grown man who struggles with bulimia and addiction and the wildly chaotic kind of personal life that you get when you're living with borderline like I am, when you recognize all that and see it, that ain't the end. That ain't even the beginning of the end, but it is the end of the beginning. It is the end of the beginning. And getting across the scree slopes, getting to the other side of the scree slopes, can be like, or learning to deal with walking on scree and the ground slipping out from underneath you. It's okay. That's the end of the beginning of your life, your real life. And that's what this is all about. How do we live our lives? Pois boiton. That's a question Plato asked. Sorry to dump Greek philosophy on you. Plato wrote dialogues and they're all about that question. How do we live our life? That's my question to you. How do we live, Pilgrim? How do we live our lives? That's what my book, Pilgrim's Progress, is about. As soon as I get a publisher for it or give up on that dream and publish it myself, I'll let you know how to get it. I hope you all buy it. Take a look. What comes after the scree slopes for my pilgrims on the trail to the Western Land is the Grail Forest. You know the story of the Holy Grail? More to the point, the story of the knights that set off in search of the Holy Grail. Holy Grail is like the cup that Jesus drank out of. That's literally what it was. We all hear the phrase, a Holy Grail. Well, it means something that you're searching for. A grail is a cup, and this is a holy cup. The cup, whatever it is, has the water of life in it. And the Holy Grail for me, and I think the Holy Grail for us Warzone kids, is making it to the Western lands, a place of peace and wholeness, where we learn and become what we are. That's the Holy Grail. That's the Grail I'm looking for. And these pilgrims, these knights, Arthur, Lancelot, Galahad, and the rest of them, I can't think of any more of their names. Sorry. Parsifal, he's the one to the point in the Holy Grail. They set off in search of the Holy Grail, and they set off on the road together. They're going out on the hunt. And they come to a place in the deep, dark forest. And the trail ran out, pilgrim. They come to the end of the path. It just petered out in the middle of some dark woods. And I done plenty of walking around in the dark woods of Vermont. It's not old growth forest. There ain't a patch of old growth forest. No, that ain't true. There's not much old growth forest left anywhere in Vermont. Most of it was cut down when people made their, to my way of thinking, insane attempt to live in this frozen tundra by farming. Who told them that was a good idea? I cannot imagine. But they did it anyway. So most of the forest in Vermont is new and young, but it's still thick and dark. And if there ain't no path in it, it is easy to get turned around, pilgrim. But those knights of the Round Table, they made their way through the forest. And they got to the Grail Woods, where the forest was thick and dark and their path ran out. And they're trying to figure out what to do. And one of them, I don't know who, so I'm going to say Percy. Percy said, you know, we're some brave knights here. We ain't going to stick together. We each need to find our own separate way. And that's how it is through life. We're all Warzone kids. We're all traveling the same path. But we all have to find our own path. Path is the same for all of us. It's our own. We got to find it. And Percy said, each of us must split up and let us each go into the forest at the place where it is darkest for us and where there is no path. And that is what they did. They split up like you're not supposed to do in a horror movie. They split up and they each went into the forest where it was darkest and where there was no path. And they each went on their own path. And that is what it's like on the other side of the Scree slopes, on your quest to learn and become who you are. You have to learn and become who you are. Not who I am, not who other people tell you you are, but who you yourself actually are. No one knows that but you, and you don't even know it yet. I don't know it yet. I find it out step by step. And the thing about the Grail Woods is there ain't no path. If there's a path in front of you, you're not in the Grail Forest. You're not in the Grail Woods until there is no path. And the path disappears. And you're at the place where it is darkest for you. That is where the Grail Woods start. When you have to take that first step and find the path by making it. As we Warzone kids go through life on our quest to learn and become who we are, we find our own path one step at a time as we make it. Here's the deal about being lost in the woods. There ain't no path. But you can always see where to put your foot down in front of you. You might have to take a big step to get over a log. You might have to crouch down and get under a log. You might not be able to tell what in the world is going to happen 5 yards in front of you. But you can always see where to put your foot down in front of you. Always. I spend enough time in the woods of Vermont to know that's literally true in the woods. And I spend enough time metaphorically in life to know that that's always true in life. You always know what the next right thing is. Put your foot down in front of you. Don't worry about whether it's the right path or the wrong path. It's your path. When you put your foot down on the pathless forest in front of you, it ain't pathless no more. You found where your path goes. And wherever your path goes, pilgrim, that is right. That is the right step for your path right now. You cannot put your foot wrong in the Grail Woods. And if there's a path already cut in front of you, it ain't the Grail Woods and it ain't your path. Stay on your path as you make it, pilgrim. That's what comes next in the Grail Woods. We'll talk more about this. But if you're in the Grail Woods today and you don't know what to do, your life is dark and there ain't no path, now you know. You're in the Grail Woods. You discover where your path is as you make your path. And you make your path one step at a time. When you put your left foot down, you don't even know where your right foot has to go. It ain't time to put your right foot down now, so don't worry about it. One step at a time, and you can take one step. Put that left foot down. Take your left foot off the ground. It's got to come down somewhere. Put it down. That's where your path is. No matter how dark it is. Don't worry about that you can't see what's up ahead. Once you put your left foot down, that's where your path is. All you have to do now, is worry about where to put your right foot down. Pick that right foot up and put that right foot down. And that's where your path is. See? It's easy. Repeat. Easy win, pilgrim. When you're in the Grail Woods and life is dark and there's no path in front of you and you're lost and you don't know what to do, take it from me, that's a sign that you're in the Grail Woods. That's all. Now you know exactly where you are. You're in the Grail Woods. And you are making your path as you discover it. And you are discovering your path as you make it. And you know exactly where you are. You are in the Grail Woods. Pitch black and you can't see more than 5 yards ahead. You don't need to see 5 yards ahead because your legs ain't 5 yards long. Pick your left foot up and put it down, and that's your path. And when you're lost and it's dark, now you know you are here. You are here in the Grail Woods. And when you're in the Grail Woods, that's a fine place to be. When you're in the dark in the woods and you feel scared, why wouldn't you? You're in the dark in the woods. But you're in the Grail Forest. You are here. You are on the path. After you put your left foot down, pick your right foot down and put it. Pick your right foot up and put it down again. That's all you have to do, pilgrim. And you ain't alone. All the rest of us are in them woods with you. We're on our own path, and you're on your path. You cannot walk on my path. I cannot walk on yours, but I know you're on it, and I know you'll be all right. I'm on mine, and I'm all right. My left foot, my right foot will find a home. And we're going to get today's miles in. Some days it ain't miles, some days it's a mile. Some days it ain't even a mile. Some days it's a few hundred yards. but we can always get it in. Let's get in today's steps on the path, Pilgrim. It's a good day. It's dark. You might be in the Grail Forest. That's all right. Pick up your left foot and put it down. Pick up your right foot and put it down. You are here. Let's be here together, Pilgrim. Let's get in today's steps. It's a beautiful day, and you're a beautiful war zone kid. Let's get after it. Daylight's burning.